Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to another weekly market forecast. This is brought to you by FX Pro. My name is Yemi Olaleye. We're focusing on December 22nd to December 26th, and let's see what we have on the fundamental perspective of the market. Starting on the Monday, there is no high impact news at all, and on Tuesday 23rd, we have on Canadian dollar and US dollar focusing on GDP and prelim GDP quarter by quarter and monthly by monthly. On Wednesday 24th, we have bank holiday covering for Euro in Japan and also in New Zealand and in Australia. So we have only high impact news on US dollar for that day, which covers for unemployment claims on 24th. On 25th, of course, as expected, we have bank holidays. It's a major holiday, Christmas Day, and 26th is the Boxing Day. Also, bank holidays is holding. So we have basically Tuesday and Wednesday with high impact news, which is very, very little. So let's check what we have on the technical perspective of the market very quickly. We check some of the specs and see last week reaction. Last week, my projection was to see the DXY bouncing into this range before it starts buying off. And basically, why did I say that was because we are on the monthly time, well, on the monthly demand zone, whereby we're expecting more movements into the high price level. And that being said, I'm not going to repeat that already. I also projected that this is how it's going to look on the 4-hour time frame perspective. This was last week. And all through then, we saw how the market moved through. This is the daily time frame. So this was the last 5 days, right? This was my projection last week. Now, expecting the price to move into this range, and we have a buy from there. And it did that on Tuesday. And that rejection on Tuesday closed significantly to ensure that our projection is just at where we're expecting it to be. And where am I expecting this to go to on the weekly time frame perspective? It's just about this level, which is around 103.96 thereabout. And so projection on DXY is the bullish one for me, by the way. So if you go to 4-hour time frame perspective, this is not looking any more different than we're seeing markets moving to this range. We've been seeing more bullish momentum. So my bias on this remain the same, that I'm expecting more bullish momentum on the DXY going forward. So going down to the next of the currency pairs, let's see how DXY will impact them all. Going to the weekly time frame perspective, we look at the market from this dimension. We've seen how the price has reacted over time. Excuse me. The price has not gotten to this previous high level, which was projected. And of course, yes, if we look at what the market has done so far, last week was a bearish momentum for the Euro US dollar. Going to the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. My projection was pretty much simple as well. I was expecting the price to bounce off into this range before we have more bullish momentum. If we have more bearish momentum on the DXY, focusing on a lower price level on DXY last week, whereby we expected the price to go back and retest the demand zone on the weekly before we have much buying momentum. Anyways, that's that. And currently, this is what this has done so far. We have more bearish momentum for last week on the Euro US dollar. So going forward, what do we have for this week? This is looking a little bit more bullish now. And how do we navigate around this? It's pretty much simple. I'm going to take out this one. It has done its work. I'm going to take out this one too. Basically, this is looking bearish. And of course, if the XY will keep buying, that means we'll be expecting more sell momentum on this one right here. This is Euro US dollar. And the fact that we've been expecting this to happen for a couple of, which makes it to be a very, very tricky one in the sense that if we look at it from a different perspective, we may have something like this on the chart. I'm coming. We may have something like this whereby we can create a structure like this one right here. I've anticipated this level before now, whereby we expected the price to actually still move back into this range. And we have more bullish momentum from here going forward. But at the same time, if we look at that, that will give about how many pips in the market? About 223 pips in the market. And of course, it's still very possible that we have something different, whereby this entire cycle, it's time for it to be completed right here, whereby the price can create a structure like this, come back to the next level of demand that we have that was broken here, and market hits this level for good. So basically, this is what I'm having, and this is what I'm looking at right here. But of course, this is looking a little bit bearish among the movements right here. We have a significant bullish momentum, bearish, bullish momentum, bearish. We may just have that bullish momentum going forward. But with what we have, if we expect more bearish momentum or more bullish momentum on the DXY, that means we may be expecting more bearish momentum on the DXY going forward. And this is also festivity period. I'm trying to be careful with that. All right, on 4-hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have. On the 4-hour time frame, we have this is the movement we have here. Nothing really much important than what I've said earlier. It is a tricky one in the sense that on a good part of this, look at this, we are having a bullish momentum. I'm coming. I'm trying to, no, not this, not this. Look at this. We're having a very strong bullish momentum going forward on this trend line. All right. And at the same time, if you look at this, we are just at the level whereby we might be seeing the market bouncing off. So this is a very tricky one. If you ask me, and I'll tell you, this is a very tricky one. So of course, this is very, very, very tricky. I'll say that again, whereby we can have the price hitting this level and doing the buy momentum. But then that means DXY has to be bearish for this to happen. Otherwise, with what we're saying on the DXY, this looks better for us to expect more bearish momentum with what we have right here. So going forward, let's see how this unfolds in the market for the week. I may not be on the chart for long, but let's see how this goes. Okay, on the Great Britain pounds US dollar weekly time frame perspective, I'll just go around what I've analyzed before. On the weekly time frame, we're expecting that the price could actually get here. And when it breaks here, I'm expect the price to actually move to the next level to take it out based on the bullish structure we've been having over the couple of weeks. And fantastically, we saw something that happened last week, which made it a little bit different. And that's what we want to check out now. On the daily time frame perspective, therefore, if you look at this, you see that we are in a trend and the trend is looking just this way. So my projection was to see the price actually getting here and bouncing off and we create high above it. But currently, look at what the price is showing. And with this now, what does that mean to me? We are still ranging, we are still struggling within this range, but outside of the range now, the last trading days, which was the last two trading days of the week, or the last week, we have the price outside of that trend. So that could actually mean that we may be expecting a bit of bearish momentum in the market to a price level like this. And if that should be the case, that means we expect more bearish momentum on this one if DSY continues going bullish. And this is on the daily time frame perspective on Great Britain pounds US dollar. Let's check what we have on the 4-hour time frame. Without wasting time, this is what the 4-hour time frame will be looking like. I may take out this one to ensure I'm not having too much lines on the chart, something like this. All right. And if we're looking at that perspective, that means we may have more bearish momentum right here. Everything you see in the market given here is high time we expect the market to take it back. For that reason, we might just be looking for this low probability setup because we are not really too sure of what the XY will be doing. What we have is dicey. We have a bullish and a bearish momentum. So more or less we are sandwiched. And whichever way it comes, I just want to ensure that we have what to trade if at all the market moves both sides. And if we have a bullish momentum, this is much of a range. Look at this on the entire day. This is much of a range. If market actually moves into this range, it's going to create an upper momentum for a what's it called? A discount momentum for us. We have a discount level whereby we're taking a bullish momentum. And with that, let's see how the market unfolds. But with this, I'm going with the flow on the DXY, suggesting more bullish momentum. So I want to see more bearish momentum on this one too. And if DXY change otherwise, that means we are also going to change direction and our bias on this pairs. Going forward, the 4-hour time frame for this, well, without wasting time, this is the AUD US dollar. My projection at the beginning of this year was to see the price actually getting into this range overall, but it didn't do that all through this year. On the daily time frame perspective, I'm not looking at anything per se. Like I said last week, I'm just expecting this guy to actually sell down into this range. And you look at it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last 5 trading days, it has been bearish. Like I said last week, I'm just expecting it to sell down into this range before I buy. And with that now on 4 time frame, how does it look? This is how it looks like on 4 hours. On 4 time frame, this is what it looks like. And for me, basically, I'm not interested in anything here than if it sells into this range, I'll be looking for a buy. So nothing more, nothing else on AUD US dollar. The same thing with this NZDUSD. If you check this out on the weekly time frame perspective, we have a fantastic momentum over the time, and my projection was to see the price taking out this low, and above it, I'll be expecting this next level. But what happened instead? The market took out this high and rested below it. The last week created a bearish candle and also rested below the previous candle. And this suggests to me that we are having more bullish momentum right there. And with this outlook, therefore, it can be easy for me to anticipate the price to come into a range like this, which would be about 41 pips current. Not much, not much, not much. This is about 41 pips market movement. And of course, that is the favorite gap zone though. So I just want to take that out and also to make something clear, something like this. So if we be having a buy here, most likely we'll be seeing the price actually hitting this level. And this is how many pips again? This is a weekly time frame perspective, 67 pips. Okay. So let's see how this unfold anyways. Let's see how this unfold. But my projection going on the daily time frame perspective is very simple too. I want to see more sell on this one, particularly In this case, it might likely break the fair value gap zone we anticipated. Look at all through the week. We said I'm expecting a sell, right? On 5 days of the week, it sold, ranging. And this is where I'm actually expecting the price to get into, but on the lower time frame perspective. So if you check this out very well, this is what you will see. You realize that I have a range for this bullish momentum as well. Peradventure, if the price comes here, I would have loved if the price comes to the daily time frame fair value gap. That means we'll be having something like this right here. We're having something like this going forward if DXY becomes weaker, if DXY becomes weaker. But then if it doesn't, that means we'll be expecting the market to actually still move down lower, and this will be the price I'm expecting the price to get into. So going to 4 time frame perspective to make this a little bit clearer, let me just do something like this. Can you see? So everything we've seen here, taking this out confused me. Anything we're seeing here, what I deleted was the fair value gap on the daily time frame. You can check it. So what I'm saying here is I want to see the price coming back into this range and giving me more bullish momentum from this range. Nothing more, nothing else on this too. And it's clear. It's really, really clear. So I'm just waiting. Let's see how this unfolds. Anytime it unfolds, it's fine. But for me, that's what I want to see. USD CAD, let me start from the weekly time frame perspective. What do we have on it on weekly? We have a bearish flow where we're targeting a bullish ride, and also it has not taken out the previous trend line level. And for the past 3, 4 weeks now, it's been moving downwards, downsides, and we saw all of that happening. On the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have there. On the daily, the price actually moved this way, and of course, we had the momentum few days, massively few days before the last week, how the price moved into this range. But fast forward to where I was expecting the price to get here for a reason. I was taking the price seriously at this level, expecting the price to move here. And when it does, I want to see a buy momentum. The price actually did. It moved there, but the buy momentum was struggled, and stop loss was taken anyways because my stop loss was quite small. And one of that reason is, excuse me, I'm trying to risk a little that I can afford to lose. So the stop loss was taken out a little there, but not much. If you check the entire range, this is about 39 pips, 40 pips on average, right? And if you see, I don't use up to that basically. So I'm just saying, if you have not been taken out, it still is good for bullish momentum, whereby this is where I'm expecting the price to get into before we have a sale. So peradventure, if that works out as expected, that means we'll be having a buy like this. And from here, we can be talking about selling this in the future. But for now, I'll be looking and holding more bullish momentum on this one particularly. So this is USD CAD on monthly time on the 4 hour time frame perspective. So let's keep going. Let's see how that turns out to be for the week. USDJPY, I expected the price to get here, just like the previous guy. When it gets here, I want to see a buy from here. But then it didn't do that. What the price did was different. It kept on buying regardless. And on daily time frame perspective, how did it work out? For the price, we had a massive bullish momentum, and this was the target right here. So if this is the target, all of this you're seeing here is massive based on what happened. JPY increased the interest rate last week, and then the announcement made the price to actually become weaker, and that US dollar is much more stronger. So last trading day of the last week, we had more bullish momentum on this particularly USD JPY over 220 pips bullish pump, and with that outlook, therefore, we mean that we might be looking at more bullish momentum on this one going forward. Going to the weekly time frame perspective, sorry, this is inverse now from lower time frame to higher time frame. Okay, good. But then what we're looking for is very simple. Don't get it twisted. This is just a level right here where we might be expecting the price to get into. So if peradventure you're looking at this level, I think this level will be taken out in the market based on structure. All right. I'm not just thinking based on structure. So we might expect something like this going forward before we have another fantastic bullish momentum outside of that range. So let's keep this energy up. Let's see how the market move into this range. And if it does, we'll be taking a sell from here. My risk reward is not so much. So I can go to 4 hour time frame to further do this. And also expect a little bit of momentum to the downside. So this is what I have here on the 4 hour time, on the weekly time frame perspective on the USDJPY. On the daily, this is what it looks like. As you can see, this looks like this on 4 hour time frame, on daily time frame perspective. And if I go to the 4 hour time frame, you see there's no much difference, just that different time zones or different time frames rather. So this is what I'm looking at on the 4 hour time frame perspective. So let's keep this simple. Let's see how the market unfolds this, and let's see what we have for the week. So keep that simple. Like I said, every time keep it simple because that's what you really need. You don't need plenty grammar and plenty stuff. So this is just my outlook on this one particularly. And then one other thing I want to say, I think I'll go to the next one. Let me just go to the next one. This about, okay, great. Nothing is here again. Nothing is here. So I'm just expecting more bullish momentum. Peradventure, are you thinking of buying immediately from here? What if the market opens with a little bit of gap on the rest? But this is not a good one for me. I won't be considering this as a fair value gap so for myself. But definitely we might actually see a gap up by the way. So let's keep that simple. This is too long on the chart on this one. So I'll go to daily time frame to make it a bit better. And this is it here. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. This is it. This is it. So 4 time frame, this is what I have. All right, too much time on the USDJPY. Let's move forward. USDCHF, what am I expecting? Nothing really much there on the USDCHF. On the daily time frame perspective, I expected the price to get here and continue buying. Get here before getting here and continue buying. But overall, the price sandwiched every bias right there. And we had how do I put it now? A ranged week for last week anyways. So look at this here. He did a little bit of buying and a bit of selling, but he ended up this way. So if I took out this entire thing, look at what we have here. So basically my momentum, my projection was to see the price actually going to the upside right here before hitting this level, before we have a buy. But for the 5 days, the market did not get close until Thursday, until Wednesday. Market was closed there, and then we are still far from this lower level. So on 4 time frame perspective, what are we having? This is what I'm looking at, expecting the market to actually buy off from here. So if the market actually sells down a little to this level here, I'll be looking for a buy opportunity going forward. And this will no longer be a thing for me because that level did not hold a dime. Right now, I'll be looking for somewhere else where the market can actually find a reversal potential right here. So if I'll be doing that, I think I should go to the daily. The daily should be more refined. That's on is too much anyways. It's a bit much. I won't be risking the whole of this, but it looks better anyway. It looks better. So I'm looking for how the market will react with this zone, and if the market does fantastic, so let's see how that's go, and let's see what we have going forward from there. Okay. Um, JPY, yes, the fundamental, this is how fundamental can attack your technical outlook. Anyways, look at this zone. We're expecting a sell from here based on the structure, based on everything we were expecting to see. We saw it last week and we're expecting more momentum to the downside. Well, boom, we had the JPY update, made it a bit weaker. And with that outlook, therefore, Friday was a day for everybody to take advantage of buying JPY. So look at this now. JPY, this is over close to 300 pips, and this is Great Britain pounds JPY. So on the weekly time frame perspective, let's see what we have there. Look at this, we've completed the cycle completely. So we might continue seeing more buying energy right here because this is a weekly time frame perspective, of course. And with that outlook, this is oh come on. We might just be expecting the price to target this previous high level here. I've not seen this. So we might just be expecting the price to tackle this previous high level, which is also very possible. And overall, at a point in time, I told you the price can actually get here. Don't forget that. I've said it before, a couple of months ago, I've said it. But let's see, because this is also a cycle in the market. If you look at this technically, this is also a cycle. We're shifting gradually. The previous low was here. Ever since then, created a new low, now creating a new low. If you take out this level here, that means we may just be actually taking out this entire range here and we're hitting our level before we see a sell on that. So this would be a next year thing, but let's just have this at the back of our hand that this is one of the things we're looking at in the market. On the daily time frame perspective, not really much here. Seeing more bullish momentum anyways. Seeing more bullish momentum on this one. Okay, I think I should be close to. I'm not touching this guy for the week. Griffin Pounds card, not interested. 4 time frame perspective. You see the daily time frame. You see what they're doing. That's why I'm not interested for a couple of weeks now. You see, I've not been interested. So they are ranging. This is Griffin Pounds Canadian dollar ranging. Griffin Pounds AUD. Also, oh, not interested. You see the move. Nothing is here. So last week I said I was not going to talk about them because nothing was really going on there. So the same thing for this week. I'm not talking about them. Nothing is happening. Nothing is really happening. That I move to the next one. Gold, yes, fantastic gold. Last week on 4 time frame past, let me just go to the weekly time frame and start from there. On the weekly, if you see what is going on, my analysis here remains the same. We're on a bullish ride right here. And of course, yes, if I'm going to be buying in the future, if the price comes here, it's a very good buy for me. All right. And on 4 time frame, I guess we have this level. But on this one, particularly on the weekly, this is where the market seems to be more visible. And 3,400 looking more impossible. So going to the daily time frame perspective, let's see what else we have there. On the daily, we have the momentum at this price level, which I'm expecting the price. If it gets here, it would be a good buy potential. But with that now, we are in an uptrend, and basically on the higher time frame, seriously, we are in a very serious bullish trend on gold. And with that outlook, therefore, there's something we saw on the lower time frame perspective that made us to take a moment in the market. On this one particularly, look at what we have here. I was anticipating to see the price get into this range, as you can see, get into this range at 4,365 thereabout, and that was last week, which the market eventually did. This was where the market was, and I was projecting to see the price get into this range before selling. And let me take that out now. I can take it out. So the market came there. That was on Thursday. The market came there on Thursday, and eventually it sold off. It sold about 600 pips thereabouts. But trust me, that is nothing compared to where I'm expecting it to get into, because at the end of the day, I want to see the price getting into a price level like this. Is this not too much on 4 hour time frame? Okay, let's see. I'll try and refine this on 1 hour and see if the price actually can get here. If it gets here, it will be a good buy opportunity. Like I'm saying, if you see the sell, it's okay, but I'm so much interested in the buy. The buy looks better for me. And on 1 hour time frame perspective, let's see how this. Oh, fantastic. 4,220. Okay, 4,213, 4,220. All right. So around here, I will take this out now because we're done with this information, and also done with this information because it has done what I'm expecting. So all I'm asking now is if we can see momentum here in the future. If we do, yes, fantastic. We'll be waiting for this to happen, and this will be a buy energy for me if this is happening. So for me, this is what I have for the week, and I wish you a very wonderful Christmas ahead of you. And quickly, let's go to nothing much here. Nothing much here. If the price comes here, it looks good. It looks better for a buy. So always anticipate the buy instead of the sell for me. That's for me, anyways. On this one, particularly weekly time frame perspective on the sorry, I want to see this guy on the BTC US dollar quickly. I think this is the last one. This is the last one quickly. This is the last one. My projection remains the same, please. My projection remains on this. Look at last week, it was a range, all true, right? So going to the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have on the daily. Nothing really happened. Nothing. BTC US dollar ranged. So my projection is the same on this one. I need not to waste time and to repeat every word I've said before. So let's just go back to the weekly time frame where the chart is looking more accommodating. And this one right here, it means I'm expecting the price to bounce into this range. And when it does, this is what I'll be looking for, a buy momentum. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping up to this moment. From the beginning of the year, every single week I've showed up, I've shared video insights, and every single day I drop analysis on this YouTube channel. It is fantastic opportunity to say compliment of the season to you. We can do greater things next year, 2026, and I want you to be here. Share, like, and let's become better. I wish you the best and enjoy the rest of the festivity. God bless you and have a wonderful trading week ahead of you. And bye for now.